Here we are with another edition of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. The focus for this, the 80th one, is a DVD release of Summerhouse Slaughter from Wild Eye Releasing. Now, from what I can tell, this movie was originally released in 2014. The thing is, the version of it presented here includes horror host parts from Malvolia. Malvolia is the alter ego of actor Jennifer Nangle, who first came to my attention when I saw Amityville Karen, which I reviewed a while ago. And she happens to be in that movie. Now, interestingly enough about this film, apparently, and this is based on information I've been able to find on the internet, so I'm not guaranteeing this is true, the movie, or at least the title, came from an internet hoax. At one point, someone created entries for Summerhouse Slaughter as if it was a real film that had been released in 1984. The wrinkle is that the movie didn't actually exist. It was just a hoax. So my guess is that a clever filmmaker decided to capitalize on that and create this movie. And my other question is whether there are actually any versions of this film that don't include the horror host parts, or if that's just another sort of hoax angle to this, and they were intended to be part of the movie from the very beginning. In any event, I love how this movie pays tribute to the classic era of slasher movies. It's obviously a 21st century creation. The fact that cell phones exist proves that. But in so many ways, they created a film that looks like it could have been released in the original golden era of slashers. The movie has a couple vintage slasher actors in it in the cast as well. Jennifer Banco, who was in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, is one of such actors. Ari Lehman, who played the original Jason Voorhees, is the other. Now, among the things this movie has going for it is inventive kills. The methods and details are varied, and the gore is captured pretty well. That said, I'm not sure how believable the bathtub scene is, but I won't give more of a spoiler than that. Just keep an eye out for that scene. I just in general love how they've done such a good job of mimicking the look and feel of those vintage slashers. The characters reference horror movies in a great self-aware scene, and you have to love the whole killer in a panda suit thing. I mean, it's so absurd, but somehow feels like it makes sense in a weird way. The Malvolia stuff also pays tribute to the whole horror host tradition with a lot of style as well. Honestly, I have to mention that portion really resonates with me. In our whole household, Svengoolie is a Saturday night ritual. And with that in mind, you might wonder just how Malvolia fits in that whole horror host thing. I'd say that she brings a bit of an Elvira vibe to it, but with a lot less camp. I honestly wish there had been a few more of those segments here. It seemed like there were just too few. The main problem with the movie itself is the sound. The volume levels are all over the place. We found ourselves turning it way up to catch the dialogue, but then having to quickly turn it back down when the sound jumped way up. That was a pretty annoying aspect to the movie. Beyond that, this whole thing was a lot of fun and an obvious love letter to both the slasher movie tradition and the horror host concept. But don't come here looking for high art or even a great horror movie. This is obviously intended both as a tribute and a spoof, and it works very well on both of those levels. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.